And it's my privilege to welcome and thank you, Mayor Lee, Deputy Director with the Governor's Office of Economic Development, Louis Stewart, Bay Bio's Gail Medeiros, QB3's Reg Kelly, esteemed colleagues and partners of Mission Bay and the city, Dr. Andreas Busch and the Global Drug Discovery Leadership Team, and our employees for joining us on this exciting occasion, the next step in the expanding the community of innovation in Mission Bay. Today is not just about the launch of the CoLaborator, which will provide startup life sciences companies with new opportunities to innovate and bring solutions to those who need them. It's also about growing biotechnology culture of Mission Bay. Thanks to Mission Bay's growing reputation as a biotech hub, demand for startup lab space is only increasing in this area. In just over 18 months since our arrival to Mission Bay, the area has become into its own as one of the most dynamic clusters of scientific innovation in the world, as witnessed by the addition of Pfizer, the continued expansion of our neighbors Nectar, the growing startup community that numbers over 30 within Mission Bay alone, complemented by the academic strength of UCSF and the 3 new breakthrough hospitals, children's, women's specialty, and cancer here in Mission Bay. We're thrilled that as of today, Mission Bay can add the CoLaborator to its growing list of incubators and innovation hubs in the biotechnology industry. And for Bayer, this is another great step in the company's long history of leadership in research and development, as well as our commitment to partner with promising young life science firms like Onyx Pharmaceuticals and Oncomed. Today, we will start the clock on what we hope will be a long era of collaboration in Mission Bay between Bayer and the most innovative companies in the area. But before we introduce the first companies to occupy the CoLaborator, I'd like to welcome Dr. Andreas Busch, Head of Global Drug Discovery for Bayer HealthCare, to the podium for a few words.
Thank you, Terry. I guess as everybody know here, Bayer has next year a history of 150 years of successful R&D. I can assure everybody things have changed how we do R&D over the past 150 years. Certain things remain the same, which is you need great people talking to each other, networking. And when we took a little while ago the decision to move here, it was for a very simple reason. We understood that Regis Kelly was not willing to move the whole QB3 to Richmond. As a consequence, we really wanted to have our scientists in the midst of a wonderful, very inspiring campus. However, we never really gave up on the idea of getting creative young people, young startups to us. And this is now happening today. Establishing the CoLaborator will mean that we will attract young companies working together with us on a great campus, getting inspired with great networks, and helping us what is the purpose of all of our doing, which is identifying breakthrough innovation for the patients which need it the most. I'm extremely excited, and I hope that everybody understands how important this step is for us. Everybody sees that my entire management team is here. Everybody understands that we have the unbelievable honor of having Mayor Ed Lee here today, who also wants to speak to us on this event. I think we should all be proud of what we have accomplished, establishing our own group here, what we want to accomplish, establishing the CoLaborator. I really hope that at the end, the big benefit will go to our patients. Thank you very much. I'm very happy that Mayor Ed Lee is here and speaks to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Welcome, everybody. You know, I still marvel, Terry and Andy, at just less than 10 years ago. I was at DPW, and we were still signing off, and we were getting rid of my Mission Bay driving range, you know, signing off on getting rid of the railroads, and turning this over to what was visualized by Mayor Brown and then Gavin Newsom later as the place that we're going to really create life sciences. And now today, just see with what Bayer's doing and the innovations they have, it really putting in the meat of why we call our city the innovation capital of the world. So I'm very gratified to join all of you here to be part of this CoLaborator. It's not just Bayer and Pfizer working alone. They're literally using their drugs and their development of drugs to really incentivize the therapeutical uses in a creative way, and finding a place for these smaller companies, just like we're doing the other tech companies. This is a very successful model that's happening between big and small, established and new. The collaboration that's going to go on here, I'm excited about this. It will, especially with the two companies that you're naming today. And I have to admit, Terry, that when I heard ProLynx was here, you finally got a replacement for Mission Bay driving range. It's called ProLynx. Got to be a golfer to understand that one. Then to realize that ProLynx is in the business they are, and Aronora. I mean, these are very important discoveries and therapeutic uses of medicine that are going to advance our world so much, and certainly in a city now that hosts 108 life science companies, 38 of them right here in Mission Bay, on a vision that I inherited, but I'm so glad and so happy to see it come to fruition thanks to Bayer and all the companies that have invested here. These great creative incubators are going to provide the answers to the future generations. I know it. I can feel it. It's right here happening in San Francisco. And at the same time, while we visualize the kind of a push button to some of these solutions, you got to see how the laboratory discoveries and the very high levels of disciplines that are happening in these laboratories and in the constant conversation between these different disciplines that are going on end up to be these great discoveries. It's exciting. It's our future. It is what we had envisioned when Gavin said regenerative medicine right here in our bay, the stem cell research that is going on, all of the association with UC San Francisco that is part of your work, it's happening right here. And so I don't mind if I come down here every week to find out what the newest discovery is. It's amazing for this city, and it does always replaces us on the map. I get to talk about this whether I'm at the U.S. Conference of Mayors or the Democratic National Convention. Everybody is interested in what San Francisco is doing, from music and art to science, life sciences, and clearly showing the way for our new ventures that offer even the best jobs to be created right here in San Francisco. So thank you, Bayer. Thank you for being part of this wonderful, wonderful mix. It's my appreciation for you to be here, and we're going to continue supporting everything that you do here. It's amazing how an idea has now become very, very much a part of our city. Thank you very much.
Mayor Lee, friends and colleagues and neighbors and partners and people who are interested in partnering with us, with Bayer. Today is a great day. Today is a day where an idea really becomes reality. It almost becomes concrete. You can feel it, you can touch it, and the idea actually goes back to Terry and Chris, and I'm very happy to be a part today. As you know, Bayer is really committed to innovation and knowing the intricacies of science ever going to be and becoming more complicated. It's pretty clear that we must reach out and complement our internal research strengths with partners from academia and biotech. And collaboration with academia and biotech is an integral part of our research strategy. And that's what the collaborator is here for. It's not just an incubator model. It's really for collaboration where with a mutual fit of interests, we help each other really for the benefit of the patients, which is really our ultimate goal, to bring innovative treatments to the patients. The collaborator is one of the newest models that we pursue. It's an addition to our partnering models, which cover actually a pretty wide span. An example I want to give you is our Grants for Targets initiative, where we really innovatively use the internet really to reach out into the whole crowd of scientists worldwide. And the collaborator is, as I said, our newest additions. We do have other forms of collaborations beyond, of course, the collaborator and the Grants for Leads and Grants for Targets initiative. For example, the IMI initiative in Europe actually goes even beyond the collaboration of individual companies forming consortia of academia and several large companies to tackle problems where the individual partner just is too small. But focusing on this area, of course, the San Francisco area, and Mayor Lee already alluded to that, is for us is a hotspot. It's extremely important. We've been here for a long time, and our activities here with just 4 projects with with the UCSF last year, with our partnerships with Oncomed, with Onyx, with Prometheus, just to name a few, are testament to that commitment to this area. And again, the collaborator is just testament to our commitment to bring innovative treatments to the patients. We use any kind of model that fits that purpose and makes us more productive in that endeavor. Thank you. Chris, please.
Thank you, Helmut. So we've heard from my colleagues that collaboration and innovation are real priorities for Bayer's research and development. And the collaborator is just another project that, as Helmut mentioned, we're using these values that are important for us. So the collaborator is just an incubator, but we're trying to put a new twist on this with a landlord-tenant relationship. And there's really no better place to do this and to be part of the growing bioecosystem here than in Mission Bay. The whole point of this is to have tenant companies, startup companies that want to partner with Bayer, where they can have the leverage, the proximity they have to our research groups right here in this building. And in addition, they can access the global expertise of Bayer scientists, as well as the global research infrastructure that Bayer brings, and as Dr. Bush mentioned, that we've had for 150 years. We're also looking to put companies in the collaborator that aren't necessarily partners yet. But again, what better way to find important projects to work on than having scientists in the same building interacting with each other? As you'll be able to see later when we open up the space for tours, the collaborator is an open floor plan, and it really encourages interaction between the startup companies in the space. But I think more importantly, what it brings being here in Mission Bay is the ability to interact with the 30 other startups here, with UCSF, all their core facilities, and with incredible organizations like Gladstone and QB3. Really, if you think about it, there probably isn't a better place in the world for a startup company to become successful than right here in Mission Bay. What you see here in front of me is the collaborator roster, and this will house the logos of the startup companies that'll be the first to utilize the space. And I'll invite up those founders in just a minute. The first of these companies, Aronora, is developing proprietary antithrombotic agents. Their drugs hold the promise of being able to prevent the growth of blood clots without some of the problematic side effects you see of bleeding with many of the therapies on the market. The other company, ProLynx, is developing custom titanium drivers no, I'm sorry, they're not actually doing that. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, Dan, I'm putting you in a hole now. You're going to have to develop that as a side project. The other company, ProLynx, is developing novel linker technologies that get around many of the problems with releasable linkers used in conjugated drugs today. They're developing technology that allows for the sustained release of drugs. You can control the circulating levels, and it's tunable, so you can do this and optimize it for each project. So with that, I'd actually like to invite up Andres Gruber from Aronora and Dan Santi, founder of ProLynx. you've heard mentioned from some of my colleagues, one second, that time is of the essence, and that we are in a race always to deliver the therapies and technologies we're working on to the patient. What we have here is a clock that reminds us we're always on the clock, and that time is always of the essence in getting these therapies to patients. I'd like to invite up the other 4 speakers here to help me start this clock, which will be a reminder of what I mentioned. I ran out of gas, sorry. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hopefully. All right. It is working. Trust me, it's working. Trust me, it's working. Actually. So in a few minutes, we'll be opening up the doors to the building over there behind the registration desk. And I welcome you to come in and take a look at the space and ask any questions from some of the colleagues that are in there. Thank you very much for coming.